So glad you could join us. You said you took a practice test, right?
Yeah, I took them like a couple times.
And you took feedback, right? So you're able to
I took
see.
the one with the feedback. Yeah,
So the ones with
yeah,
feedback, once you get it incorrect, you can actually um, either I have a video there or I have an explanation there of how to do it. So what's important is when you do get one of those incorrect is to go over that feedback. And then once you go over that feedback and go over the ones you got incorrect, take that same test again. So let's see what you got. Let me look it up now.
yeah.
Hold
Because
on.
I was like, okay, it's one I just and then I made a mistake on it, and then I said, oh, I did it wrong.
But
Yeah,
that's the purpose of the practice test because
yeah.
you putting yourself in the mode of taking an exam, so you
Hmm.
eliminate those small mistakes. Let me see if I can find it now. I don't know why my computer's so slow this evening. Let me close this up.
Yeah, yeah. I really just yeah. I'm like, oh, well, oh, I know that one.
Mm-mm. And let me just open it up. I don't know what's taking so long here.
Now this wasn't on there.
What?
What I'm looking at.
Oh yes it was. Oh, you'll see it. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so let me go over one of these first, so you see it.
Not too
Okay.
tough thing.
I I can go over it though. Don't worry.
Okay.
There you go, right there. So you got it looks like you took it and you took practice GED 2. You got 22 out of 33, which is 67, which is very good, 67%. Then you got
Yeah, that one
33,
I gotta do. Then I gotta do that one over. That okay? I gotta do that
all
one
right,
over.
33 out of 43 is also good too. Yeah. So let me show you how to do these problems first. This
Okay.
table here. So you may get a matter of fact. I'm gonna show you an actual GED question with a table. It's very important you understand with the table. So let me go to a table. GED math practice. So with a table. Okay.
Okay.
So remember what a table is. A table is just a set of data points. So it's a
Mhm.
set of ordered pairs. Okay, that's all it
Mhm.
is. So it's another way to give you points. So
Yeah, you take the
again,
2 points.
right, you take the 2 points and you put them in your calculator. That's it.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
again, let me show you real quick. So this is a GED practice test offered by GED.
Okay.
And this is um a question that most people get incorrect. First of all, the first part of this is saying the scientist plots data for tree two on a coordinate grid. She begins by plotting data for year 3 and year 11. So first of all, identify your givens. It's from tree two. You want to plot year 3 and 11.
I can't see it.
You can't see it?
No, I can't. I only see you and Darlene. Like
Huh?
her name. That's all I see.
You want to see who?
Wait a minute.
Maybe I'm sharing the wrong screen. I apologize. Hold on.
Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah. See it
Okay.
now.
Good, good. Um, I'm all over the place here. Okay. So, let me go back. You read this. Again, we're looking at this question first. Okay, all this
Mhm.
data, this paragraph, this table. We're looking at
Mhm.
pictures, we're looking at tables, looking at
Mhm.
graphs, we're looking at the
Mhm.
question. So first read the question. The scientist plots the data for tree two. That's important because the information is tree one and tree two. The plot
Mhm.
years 3 and 11. What are the locations of the 2 points on the coordinate grid? So we're just looking at tree two, year 3, and
3 3.
year 11.
Mhm.
So when we look at that, let's scroll down.
Mhm.
We take a screenshot of that. And this is a science question too. Okay. So we want year three, which is 12. So we go 3 and 12. So 3 is the X, 12 is the Y right there. And then year 11 is 11 and 14.4. So 11 and
Mhm. 11.
14.4 is about in the middle. You don't have to be
Mhm.
exact. That's it. That's not a difficult question. But the second part of this question, okay, this is where you have to find an equation from a table. So if you use the ebook, getting the 2 points. But first, we got to identify the 2 points. So first of all, we
Mhm.
look at this question again. The scientists reading the question first, so we know what we're looking for. So because sometimes what people do is they're gonna read that first paragraph, they're gonna look at those two tables, they're gonna read that third paragraph, and then they're gonna come to the question. You might not have to do all that. So by knowing the question, we know what we can just skim through and what do we have to actually read. So first of all, the scientist creates an equation that models her data for each tree that's so she can predict the diameter in the future. Complete a
Mhm.
linear equation. We know linear equations is y equal mx plus b.
Mhm.
That fits the data for tree one,
Mhm.
where x is the year, y is the trunk.
Mhm.
I'm gonna change my color to red. This is my x. This is my y. This makes it even easier
Mhm.
because we didn't have to decipher and say the year was x and the trunk diameter was y. They gave it to us.
Mhm.
So we just need to grab 2 points. Now, if we
Mhm.
did this by hand, we know if they ask for a linear equation, we know M stands for the slope,
Mhm.
and we know B stands for the y-intercept. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, we have no value where X is 0. Okay. We have no, so if X was 0, whatever Y is would be our y-intercept, but we don't have that. So first let's do the slope. So slope is we're gonna use these 2 points right here. Now we can use
Yep.
any 2 points. We can use year one and
Yep.
year 13, year 1 and 9, year
Mhm.
5 and 7. Doesn't matter what 2 points you use. So first we're gonna find the slope. 19.2 minus 18.6 because y2 minus y1,
Mhm.
x2 minus x1. So we got zero point 0.6 divided by 2, which is zero point 0.3. So we know the slope is 3. So we know our equation is going to start with y equal zero point 0.3 x
Mhm.
because y equal mx plus b. So now we need to find out y-intercept. To do this by hand,
You gotta take it. Okay.
you got to use the point and you got to use the slope. So y equal
Mhm.
mx plus b. I'm going to use the first point. I'm going to use this point right here,
Mhm.
118.6. So my y is
Mhm.
18.6. My slope is zero point 0.3. My x is 1 plus b. Why? Because I know anything times 1 is itself is nice and easy.
Mhm.
18.6 equal zero point 0.3 plus b. In order to get b by
Mhm.
itself,
Minus.
I got a minus zero point 0.3. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. 18.6 minus 8, 18.6 minus zero point 0.3 is 18.3 is my b. That's my y-intercept. So plus 18.3. So my equation is y equal 0.3x plus 18.3. So what you would do is you would drag the zero point 0.3 to here, you would drag the x to here, and then you would drag the 18.3 to here.
Mhm.
Now, we already know that's going to take us 5 minutes. We already know doing it by hand is going to take us about 5 minutes. So again, how to find the equation of a line from 2 points. We're going to plug it into our calculator. Data, we got 1, enter, 3, enter, and then we got 18.6 and 19.2. Second, data, 2 variable calculate. We go down to our A and B. We find our slope and y-intercept. There's our slope.
Mhm.
Let me change my color to red.
And
There's
then
my slope.
what? Mhm. And your wires.
There's my y-intercept, and we know y equal mx plus b. That means our equation is y equal 0.3x plus 18.3.
3.3.
Okay, so that's how find the equation of a line from a table. Anytime they ask you for the equation line, I'm looking for two things: my slope and y-intercept. Luckily, if you have the ebook, you know how to do it. You can find the equation line from 2 points using this calculator fast without no worries. Okay, so let me go to your test right now. Um, Open it up. Actually, 33 out of 43 is really good. Matter of fact, let's use our calculator to see what our averages, our percentage would be.
I
33
think it was
part over
70
whole.
something.
We're gonna change it to a percentage. So you got that's a 77%. You would pass with flying colors. You would pass the GED exam with flying colors.
I had to take that test about 3 times.
That's okay. But
Yeah.
that's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to realize your mistakes. And as you're learning and how to fix your mistakes, then you do the other practice tests, right? And you take those. It's 14 of them.
I'm gonna
Like
take it. Mr. Fizzy. I have one question on that test.
mhm.
On that test.
I'm great. I'm great.
That
Put it on. Can I put yours on the screen?
yeah, you
Okay.
could do that. You could
Hmm.
do that.
Good question.
It's the one. It's an average question. I guess it's a missing. No, it's way up. It's way up.
Way
Okay.
down, you mean?
Yes, I mean.
So again, so if you go to your see right here, say if you got it
Yeah,
wrong.
I made a mistake right there, and I know the answer, and I pushed the wrong thing. But go ahead.
Okay. So again, 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2.
It's 818. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So one over 8. Right, but here's the video. So again, as you get your feedback, and that's one thing that I did with the feedback is I give you your answers, right?
Now look, this one too. This one too. What did I do wrong here?
This is why, because they asking you for the solutions. So
Okay, so the salute.
you
Okay, go ahead.
factored x minus 7, x plus 5.
And I didn't do it
You were
the other
correct.
way.
So remember,
I
in
didn't.
order to solve it, we got to find the zeros. So
Right.
the opposite of minus 7 is what?
It's I'm supposed to put x plus 7 and
No,
then
no,
x
no, no, no,
minus.
no, 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 no.
No.
This is right.
Oh, this is okay.
You
Okay.
factored it right. But to find the
Okay.
solutions, you have to see what
Oh.
values of x would make this 0. So the opposite of minus 7 is
Oh.
what?
Plus 7
Plus 7. The opposite of plus 5 is what?
is minus 5. That's what I
Minus
was saying.
5.
I wrote
So
it
it says put the
wrong.
lowest number first. So you supposed to put -5 right there, and then you're supposed to put plus 7
Oh.
right there. So
Oh.
remember
Okay.
what you just did. You factored it. The reason why we factor is because that's the easiest way to solve a quadratic equation. But remember,
Yeah.
the second part of that is finding the zeros.
I
Got
got
me?
it. Okay.
Good.
Yes. I said I know how to do. Okay. I just did it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You do
Okay.
listen, look, you do now, oh, come on. You got to get this one
Wait.
right.
Yes. Yes. That was. I half did it.
Right, because remember, it's
It's one
volume
third.
equal you got it right, you got to divide by 3. So
Yes.
the area of the base, 20 times 20 is 400. 400
Mm-hmm.
times the height is 2400. That's what
And
you
then it
put,
has
but you
one third.
forgot to
Yeah.
divide by 3,
Right.
which gave you
Yes.
800.
Yes. Yes.
But again, what you should be happy about is when I'm making small mistakes, and what you also doing is recognizing that you made those mistakes. So when you
Yeah. I
do it
made
again,
that mistake.
right,
Yeah.
good. But look all these greens. Oh, now listen.
This the one. This is the one. Now
Okay,
I was like, wait a minute.
now if they gave you multiple choice. Okay, so say for example, let me say this. If they
Okay.
said A was, let me change my color to red change it to blue since it's.
I don't know. And I did this thing like
So
all
say
weekend long.
A, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna say A was 5. Say B was 6. Say C
Mm-hmm.
was 7. Say D was 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to
Mm-hmm.
find the average, we know how to find the average. We gotta add all these up and divide by how many there are, which is 10.
Right.
So the easiest way to do that is just substitute in. So what you're saying is, let me clear this out. And again, I will use my calculator. Okay.
Okay.
So I will go to data. I'm gonna clear that
Mm-hmm.
out. And I will put these numbers in. 5, enter, 4, enter, 6, enter, 3, enter, 6, enter,
Mm-hmm.
5, enter, 7, enter, 9, enter, 4, enter.
Okay.
Oh, I must got an extra one. Hold on, let me go back up. No, that
So
was
there's
right. It
only
said, did it say L10? Yeah, it said
it's
L10. So
only
good. So right. So it's only
yeah,
9 of them. So now
yeah, it's
listen, I'm gonna
nine.
put my
Yeah, yeah.
first multiple choice there. I'm gonna put my first
Okay.
multiple choice, which is 5. And I'm gonna hit
Uh-huh.
enter. And I'm gonna go second, data, one variable, because I only got one variable,
Uh-huh.
calculate. And the average is shown right at the top. So the average is right here, 5.4. Well, we're looking for 5.5. So we know
Yeah.
it's not 5. So we go back into data and change the last one from 5 to the next one, which was 6. Oops, I erased it. Hold on. The multiple choice, go to the second multiple choice, which is 6. Hit enter.
Somewhere else.
Second, data, one variable, calculate, and we go to the mean, that X bar, 5.5. So we know that the answer is 6. So using
Oh
your
my
multiple choice
God.
options, right, is a
Yeah.
way. Now, that's not what they want you to do, though. Algebraically, this is what they want you to do. So I'm going to clear everything out, and I'm going to show you. Let me put this
And
on
I
the
don't know if
screen.
it's okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So algebraically, how
Yeah.
would you find the average? You would add all these up. So what you would do is you would
Mm-hmm.
sum the values, right?
Because all them add up to
Right? And
49.
you got a total, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you said the total was 49. Got
Yes.
your total.
Mm-hmm.
And then you divide,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, to go to they gave us the mean,
It's
right?
5.5. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So this is what we do. We sum the values, get our total, we divide how many there are, we get our mean. Well, the difference is they already gave us the mean. So we got to go backwards. So the opposite division is what?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So we're going to take 5.5 and multiply that
Okay.
by 10.
I did that.
And you got 55,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Now, instead of adding, we got to subtract our total. What's our total?
49.
So 55 minus 49 is,
And it's 6.
that's
And
it.
that's it. Oh
And so that's
my
that's that's finding the missing
God.
value given the mean.
Yes. That's how, you know what? Oh my gosh.
So you
And I
did
had
all the
that answer.
steps.
And I had the answer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I had the answer.
Okay. So again, that's not a difficult problem. Now this one,
Nope.
again, you gotta identify what you know, right? So
Oh
first of
yeah,
all,
just yeah.
spent 22.50 on
Let
angel
me
hair
check.
and penne.
Right.
Angel. So
And
let
you
me
got
angel hair
is
70.5,
yep, yep, yep.
0.75.
Right.
Penne is $1.50. So we know
That's
$1.50
that's number two.
times P plus 0.75 times A
Equals 250.
equal
That's that one.
22.50.
No, it's three.
So what happened
It's
was
three. Yeah, I got one.
you
I
switched the
made it.
variables.
Yes, I did.
Remember, but they gave you pasta, angel hair pasta is A,
Hmm.
penne pasta is P.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's a simple fix.
Yes, it was.
That's just paying attention to what we got. Now again, this is a table. They're asking you for the equation. We're gonna grab our
Okay.
calculator.
I did this one too. Come on, let's see. Let me see where I went wrong at.
Let me clear everything out first.
Hmm. I had
Okay.
that answer right.
So
I'm so
we got we hit data. What two X's do you want to put in?
the first two.
First
I
two.
mean two.
So
Yeah,
two
yeah,
and what
just
else?
2 and 67. Oh, 2 and 3 is
Two
the
and three of
X's.
my X's. What are my Y's?
Right. Your Y is 67.50 and
Mm-hmm.
90.00.
Okay. Now I don't have to put the 00 because that's just 90.
Okay,
Second,
90.
data, two variable calculate. Look for your A and your B for your slope and your y-intercept because they're asking you for the equation of the line. So
Okay.
both
A
of the
is
answers
22.
22.5. So
Ouch!
y equal 22.5x plus 22.50.
22.5. Mr. Tinsley, I'm telling you, I did this problem yesterday. It was on my mind. And
But where'd you get the 45 from for the answer?
I don't know, it's wrong. Because when I did it over and I took the 2 points, and I said, look at this.
Mm-hmm.
My is 22.5.
And
I
that's
was
why
like,
most people don't answer that because they see the same answer and they say, "Oh, it can't be that." No, that
and
was it.
that's that was right.
So
It
so so so
that
ag- so so look at your score right now. 33 out of
was,
43. Almost every
mhm.
single question that we went over, you knew the mistake that you made.
Yes, I did. I knew it.
Okay? The length of one
Oh,
side
and
of a
this one
square,
too. This wrong too.
what's
This
the
is the first one. It's number one.
it's number
Because
one.
I
What?
did that one number two.
Because what?
I actually it says the area of a square. And actually I actually did it out. Yeah. I did it all out.
Yeah.
'Cause
This is another way to see if you know how to multiply binomials.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yep,
So
yep,
right when
yep.
you do this 2x times 2x and you got
Mm-hmm.
4x squared,
Correct.
that gets
Mm-hmm.
rid of that one. That gets rid of that one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then 2x times 3, we get 6x.
Mm-hmm.
3 times 2x, we get another 6x. And then we
Mm-hmm.
got 3 times 3, which is 9. We got two like
Mm-hmm.
terms. So we get
Mm-hmm.
4x squared plus 12x plus 9,
Mm-hmm.
which is A,
Number one.
number one.
I told you, they were racking
Mm-hmm.
my brain.
Yep.
I was like, I couldn't sleep. I said, I know I did it.
Mm-hmm. Now this one,
Now this one, wait a minute. Whoa, whoa. This I understand completely at all. I didn't
okay.
understand it.
So these lines are kind of messed up. So I don't know what I meant here because you can't really see it. Let me make it bigger. Let me make it bigger here. Hopefully I can make it bigger. Oops. That may be too big.
Yeah, that okay.
Okay, now it makes sense. Okay, now it makes sense. So I got a solid circle with an arrow. I got a solid circle to the left. I got an open circle to the right. I got an open circle to the left. Now this makes sense. Let me delete it.
I didn't understand how to do it,
I'm going
period.
to show you right now. So
Okay.
this is so a solid circle means equal to
Mm-hmm.
um and a open circle is less than or greater than or equal to. So let me say what that means. So for example, when you got an inequality, you got greater than, you got greater
Mm-hmm.
than or equal to. You got less than, you got less than or equal to. If you have greater than or less than or equal to, you're going to have a solid circle. If it's greater than or less than, you're going to have an open circle. If it's greater
Okay.
than, you're going to have an arrow to the right. If it's less than, you're going to have an arrow to the left. Okay? So let's look at
Mm-hmm.
these real quick and let's look at this. Let's look at the question first. It says, Halima is selling homemade laundry soap. She has 12 bars and must make at least 168. So that means you
Okay.
want your money greater than 168.
68, right.
So you take that 168. She has 12 jars. It must say, so look what it says. She has 12 jars and must make at least 168 to earn a profit. So
Mm-hmm.
168 divided by 12 is $14. So that means she must, in order to make a profit,
Oh my
she
God.
must sell it for more than $14.
Mm-hmm.
So because it's more than 14, if she sells it for exactly $14, she going to break even. She won't make any money. So we know it has to be greater than 14.
Then, yeah.
So on here, you want a open circle. Let me take these circles away so we can see it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What we want is an open circle at 14. So at 14, open
It's gonna
circle
go that way.
and to
Yeah.
the right.
Yeah.
So which was that one right there. Because it says to earn a profit. If she makes $0, that's not earning a profit. So she must charge more than 14. And I don't even know why they even have a negative because you can't sell negative jars. Or you can't, I
And
mean, you can't sell it for negative money. That don't even make sense. But again, now this is not a, for the most part, for most intents and purposes, not a GED type question. It's a high set type question. But
oh,
there's the explanation.
yeah, and I got the $14. I just didn't know do the other thing with
Right.
it.
So what's important is right.
Yeah.
Gotta know how to do this.
I already know what I did wrong here.
What
It's
you do wrong?
24. I already know.
You
I
sure about
put the
that?
yeah, I know what I did
Okay.
wrong.
Because area equal pi r squared.
Wait, yes,
So we
yes,
know the
yes.
area, they already gave it to us, is 144 pi equal
Mm-hmm.
pi r squared. If I want to get the r
Mm-hmm.
squared by itself, I got to divide by pi. Whatever I
Mm-hmm.
do to one side, I got
One,
to do on
two,
the other.
three,
The two pi's
five.
cancels on the right. The two pi's cancel on the left. 144 is r squared. The opposite of squaring something is what?
Square root.
Square root. So r is equal to 12. But they're asking for the
Mm-hmm. For the
diameter.
diameter is 24. Yeah.
24. Yes.
Yeah, I could kick my
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I,
Let's look at here.
I did this one over too. I I did this one over too.
Mm-hmm. So again, you just add them up, divide them how many there are. So 13, 18, 18
It's
and 9
seven.
is
It's seven.
27 divided by 4.
Because they said go to the nearest whole number.
I
Mm,
could use my calculator real quick, but
that was deep. I could
6.7. Round to
I
the
could
nearest
kick
whole number. Yep.
yeah. I could kick myself.
But again, you should be happy because 33 out of 43 is a passing score. And the ones you got wrong, you realized your mistake. So the next thing
Mhm.
you're going to do is you're going to take another practice test, whether it's with feedback or without. What I would say is, since you scored high enough and corrected your mistakes, what I would do is I would take a practice GED without feedback, see what you do.
Okay.
Now, I mean
Okay.
I mean, if you want to take one with feedback, that's fine. It doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, today is April 28th. We were supposed to be taking our exam sometime in May. So you're very, very close. You should see that you're very, very close. Correct those small mistakes and then
Hmm.
practice every day. What I would probably do if I was you, if I was this close, I would probably take a practice test every day. And if you
Yeah.
scoring over 70 on a consistent basis, as a matter of fact, if you scoring over 65, 70, I would say 70, 70 give you that that little buffer that you need to make sure that, okay, I'm ready to take this exam. So I would say 70. I would go and take 70. And again, whatever your points is, part over whole. So 33 out of 43. What did we say that was? I forget again. Let me see.
76,
It was 76.
I believe.
We're going to change that to a percentage. Yep, 77.
Hmm. Okay.
Listen, if you scoring 70 over mine, you should be ready to go ahead and take that test and knock it out. But again, by taking more tests on my site, though, what you're doing
Hmm.
is you're preparing yourself so you won't make those small mistakes. So you
Yes,
catch them
yes.
small mistakes. So when you go take the
Hmm.
test, you won't make them small mistakes, and then you'll practice using that calculator because that's a good score. The 77 is money.
And that's what I have to go back on the ebook and do is to practice using my calculator.
Yes, yes, and
Yeah.
that
That
goes
yeah.
along with
Hmm.
practicing because a lot of
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
are
Mm-hmm.
you know, to me, in my opinion, of course, I'm a little biased because I made them, but what I would say is, again, the more practice you can do, the more you can use your calculator, the
Mm-hmm.
easier this test is going to be. So let
Yeah,
me, where
yeah,
is it?
yeah.
Where-
Especially doing uh um the data and stuff like that. Because
Mhm.
I know how to store my numbers and stuff. I know how to do all that. But I'm
Okay,
just doing the data part of it.
good, good. Let me open up one right here. Let me ask you a question. So I sent this to students to practice today, right?
Oh,
Let's see if we can create
okay.
a linear equation because we're going to have linear equations, but they're going to be disguised as word problems, right? So let's look at
Mm-hmm.
number one. Okay,
Okay.
suppose that the water level of a river is 34 feet and that's receding at a rate of zero point 0.5 per day. Write an equation for the level L after D days. And how many days will the water level be 26 feet? What are they asking? So the first thing you're going to identify, um, let me get my pencil,
Okay.
is what's constant? Because remember, B is not going to change.
34 feet.
That's the 34 feet. So that's my B. My
Mm-hmm.
MX, that's variable. That's going to change depending upon what my X is.
If it's receding, it's going to be it's going to be negative zero, 0.5 per
So
day.
so right. So if M is negative zero point 0.5
Okay, negative
and
point
my
0.5.
B is 34, what would
Mm-hmm.
my equation of the line be?
It's going to be y equals negative 5 plus 34.
Negative 5 or negative zero point 0.5?
Negative point 0.5. Sorry.
Negative zero point 0.5x plus 34.
Yes, yes.
Now, they told us to use L and D. So we're going to change that. We're going to change that to use the variables they want us to use. So L equal
Days.
0.5D
Yes.
minus 0.5D plus 34. So that's the equation of the line. Very good. Now, but
Uh,
the second part of that is when will it be 26 feet? So we know L is the water level. So when will L be 26? So I'm going to come down here in blue. 26 is equal to negative 0.5D plus 34. So in order to
mhm.
get D by itself, what must we do first?
Okay, you gotta subtract
Subtract what?
34 on both sides.
Subtract 34 from both sides. Again, I'm running out of room here. So we get minus 8 is
Okay.
equal to negative 0.5D. In order to get D by itself, what must we do?
Divide, you
Divide
gotta
by what?
divide point negative point 0.5.
Negative zero point 0.5. Whatever we do on one
Like
side,
we do to the other.
the two negative 0.5s on the
Cancel
right
out.
cancel out. So we
Yeah.
got D equal. The two
Good.
negatives make a positive. So we get 8
Roll 5.
divided by zero point 0.5. And we get D is equal to 16.
Yep.
So that means it would
Definitely.
take 16 days for them to go from 34 feet down to 26 feet. Again,
Mm.
this is a linear equation. It might not seem like it, but it is.
Yes, it is.
Again, like number three. Oh, they love problems like number four. That's almost you might see something like that. Okay. Um, so again, what's so y equal mx plus b?
Mm-hmm.
We know b is not changing. That's my constant. We know the term mx is variable. That's going to be changing. So in
Mm-hmm.
this problem for number four, what is our b?
Uh, uh,
Say it again that you were
for
breaking up.
service.
What's our b?
$25.
25. And what's
Our
our
B,
m?
our M is $50
Okay, so if our
per
m is
hour.
50 and our b is
Mm-hmm.
25, what's my equation of the line?
Y equals 50x plus 25.
Now, they want to use different variables, so they got C and H. So C is equal to 50 times h plus 25.
Okay.
That would be the correct formula. But you notice we first use y equal mx plus b. Then we just
Yeah,
use the
they have
variables
letters.
c for
Mhm.
cost, h for hours. Now, what's the total cost of 8 hours? How will we find that? Could we plug that into our calculator?
Yeah, you could do 50 times eight.
Which is what?
Oh, I don't have my calculator.
What's h? I didn't say what's the answer. What's h?
Oh, H is hours.
And how many hours
It's
are they asking about?
8.
Eight first. So we're going to do 50 times 8. And then we got to do what?
Yes. Then you gotta do plus 25.
Plus 25. And then they
Yeah.
want to know 10 hours. 50 times
Mhm.
10
Mhm.
plus 25. Same exact thing.
Mhm.
So 425 and 525. Very good. Listen,
Mhm.
listen. If you literally practice, take a little practice test every day, I would say you could probably take this exam early May. Like literally. Like seriously. Like no like seriously. So
Yeah.
I really need you to look at the schedule for GED, see what's coming up because I don't know where you live, but I've heard stories that they like in some rural areas they can't get testing
Mhm.
for like 3-4 weeks.
What?
Yeah. So no
Well, I'm not
metropolitan.
far from. I'm
Are you
not far from Temple.
from where?
Temple. I'm not far from there.
You better stop playing.
I'm not playing.
You live in Philly. That's great.
Yeah, I live in West Philly,
Uh,
but I work in North Philly.
hold on.
Great.
Oh, I'm so happy you just made my day. So listen, so that was the word problems for linear equations. You can expect anywhere from 5 to 10 questions on the GED for linear
Mhm.
equations. Some of them might not be classified as linear equations. So
Wow.
but you have to be ready for those. Let me see, let me open up my study guide. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, small world, small world. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Yeah, he was
Um,
my teacher for quite a while.
so again, even if you look at this GED study guide, right? Let's just look at it and
Mhm.
see how many linear equations there are, right? Because I need you to
Mhm.
really understand how important it is. So right here, locate points on the coordinate plane. That's one.
Okay.
Find the slope of the line in standard form. That's two. They give you a linear equation, 0.05b plus 7. So even though they
Mhm.
reversed them, that's still a linear equation. 0.05
Yep.
is my slope. My 7 is my y-intercept if I had to graph it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
This is a linear. This is a question about whether something is linear or nonlinear, right? But it's still a linear equation. Slope of a line given the slope in a point. Hold on, I forgot. I was
Mhm.
supposed to be counting. One, two, three,
You gave
four,
quite a few of them.
5. The equation of the line between 2.6.
That's number
Slope of the
one. I did.
perpendicular, 7.
Mhm.
Now, functions shown in different ways. This example is also a linear equation. 8.
Mhm.
That's 8 questions. 8 questions. So it's so important that you understand linear equations. So most people, when they just associate linear equations, they just think of slope. Slope is part of linear equations, but a
There's
linear
more to it.
equation is is all it means is the highest power in that equation is 1. So for example,
Mhm.
if I have 2x plus 5, that's a linear expression. When I put that equal sign, that's what makes it a linear equation.
Mhm.
Okay. X squared plus 2x plus 5 is not a linear equation. Why? Because the highest degree is higher
That's a
than 1.
quadratic equation.
This is a quadratic expression. This is a quadratic. What make it a
Mhm.
quadratic equation is when it's equal
So
to 0.
everything equals zero.
So most intents and purposes, when you see a quadratic expression, you make it equal to 0 to make so you can solve that quadratic equation. But again, it's that highest power in that expression. For linear expression, It can't be higher than one. Okay, that's it. That's what makes something a linear equation. Um, so real quick, let's do a couple of these and see if we got. Let's see if we. Do you know how to do this question here? Let me zoom in.
Yeah, I know how to.
So if you had this problem, it's 7 o'clock. So this is the last one we're gonna do. If you had this
Okay.
problem, what would you do to solve this problem?
Okay. It says Simmons looking at two websites that allow customers to print their own t-shirts on a website. On one website, charge $25 per t-shirt. Okay. Plus $8 shipping. That's for the first. Okay, we're gonna do the first one first.
Okay, boom. All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
Then the then the other website uses the equation C equals 22N plus 12 to find the total cost C of printing N t-shirts. What is the difference in the cost of each website if Tim orders 10 t-shirts?
Okay. So how much would
Okay.
it cost if we order 10 t-shirts from the first website? We do.
We're gonna do we would do 24 times 10
Mm-hmm.
plus 8.
Plus 8. What is 24 times 10?
240
And what's
plus 8.
240 plus 8?
248.
Okay, perfect. All right, what's the second
Mhm.
equation?
Now, the second equation is 22n. Okay, and in the print and n is t-shirts. What is the difference? Okay, so we're gonna have 22 times 10 plus 12.
22. Hold on, something is not working here.
Okay,
22 times 10 plus 12. What's 22 times 10?
that's 220 plus
220
12
plus 12,
is 232
232. But what do they want to know?
minus. They want to know the difference. So it's 248 minus 232.
Which is what?
Yeah, yeah. Well, let me see. Uh, I'm not. I have to put mine right here. I don't have my calculator, so
That's all right.
okay. It's 16.
16.
Mhm.
16. Perfect. All right, so that's the last one we're gonna do for the night. What we're gonna do is I want you to go through those practice tests, right? Now, the second thing
Mhm.
you gave me, I gave you my number.
Mhm.
Let's try to schedule sometime in early May. But I also want to
Mhm.
do a one-on-one session with you before you take your practice test.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Listen, you listen. Yeah, that'll be great because um graduation June.
I know my birthday in June.
It's a citywide graduation.
I
All
know.
right, all right.
Okay.
Be on
Okay.
that. So listen. I
Mhm.
want you to get in that math every single day.
Yes.
By next week, you should be either taking another practice test. I can give you a discount code. Now you could take the practice test on my site, but I would also for $3 take the practice test on their site. The reason why is
Okay.
because if you get it likely to pass, if you need to, you could take it from home. And but
What?
again, you can come down Temple, and then we come pass it, do all that. So listen, practice every day. You think you
I'm
ready?
gonna practice.
Give me a call. I do a one-on-one session with you to go over the most missed questions, and then we go and
Mhm.
take that test.
Tanya, I ain't know nothing about no slopes and all, no quadratic equations and none of that. I was like, I gotta leave here and find something else because this is not teaching me what I need to know to pass this test.
I'm glad. I'm glad you joined me. Let's finish. Let's
Mhm.
finish this race. Let's let's let's
Okay.
let's cross that finish line.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
All right. You have a
Yes.
wonderful night.
You too. Bye bye.
All right, Sharon. All right, Darlene.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.